Hello everyone, we are from KKUIC and now we're gonna present you about history of Thai art in the Rattanakosin era. First, let's talk about painting in the Rama one. The Rama the painting style of the era was similar as the Ayutthaya painting, but it got an effect from China. The technique paint of the color and grade. For the example, the painting on the wall view chapel. At the first picture, the painting on the top painting show the convention of the fairy. At the second picture, on the below the window, view painting about history of Buddha. At last picture, and behind sculpture, view paint about three words of dry pool. Architecture in the raw one. Architecture in the first part of the Rattanakosin era have two kinds. First, the model of the pagoda, which built in the raw 1 to T, like built stupa and pagoda 12 block. In the raw one, have built Wat Phra Sri Ratana Sasadaram or Wat Phra Kaew Temple. The sculpture in the Ramaman. In the period of the Ramaman, the capital Thailand was moved from the Thonburi to the Bangkok. So, King Ramaman don't want to build statue of Buddha, but he ordered to restore the old one from the north of the Thailand and bring to the capital 1,000 of the statue. However, the most statue of the Buddha at that time will be old style from the Sukhothai, so in this period have a less sculpture. Painting on the Rama II. Painting in this era had not important but can be found at Wat Arun Jatwararam balcony, and the technique paint is the color and grease. Painter in the Rama II almost paint on the dish and jar. Those things are more detailed than other era. Architecture in the Raw II. In the Raw II, statue building, stupa or Wat Ara, but finished in the Raw II. For the Buddhist temple in the first part of the Rattanakosin era, often copy Ayutthaya. The Buddhist temple of Wat Phra Sri Ratana Sasadaram still have the base curve and next era is gone. In the Rama II, in the period of the Rama II, sculpture was the focus on the beauty and curve of the accessory more than the face of Buddha. So that at that time, the statue of the Buddha will have a silent face or don't show beautiful shape of face, but it will have more accessory but use gold to build some part of the statue. Painting in the Rama II. In the Rama II, wall painting were the most serious, and you can watch at the Suttatevararam Chapel. The painting style in this era are combined art of Chinese, because in that time Chinese do trading with Thailand. The architecture in the Raw II. In the Raw II, admire the Chinese art. Some of the temples that built in the resort, such as Wat Raj Orot, Wat Theptida, the Buddhist temple has shaped to build like a Chinese of the gable epics, two sliding on the slope edge, and the gable curves or Bailaka Hanghong, and the Naban or gable should be curved block but chained to the cement and decorated by the design of the backcrate. Rama III. In the Rama III have an order to learn more about the style or appearance of the Buddha. In this period, have a positive appearance of the statue. So in this period, you have more statues of the Buddha in the different style, and those of statue are created by the King Rattanakosin period. Painting in Rama IV. In the Rama IV, Western came to the contact with Thailand, and it influenced the painting of Thailand, and was begin the style positive, such as the painting in Mahalusaram Temple, Boriwen Vihar Temple. The style painting as positive. Important of the artist was Krua Kong, who created the oil painting on the wood. This picture shows the Mahalusaram Temple, and this picture about Krua Kong. Architecture in the Raw III. Often built a Alaska spiral stupa, cause the King Monskan still ordered have to win the north and study about pagoda in Sukhothai. In the raw life reproduced pagoda in Ayutthaya, such as pagoda 12 block. Sculpture in the Rama IV. In the peace period, are transformation of the traditional and culture, such as form of the sculpture, architecture, and so on. The favorite art at the time is the realistic with effect by the Western country. So He had the order to build a new style of the Buddha, which adjusts the body of the Buddha, has morality and seems as the normal human and dress of the Buddha will have moralistic also.
Rama V. Thai influenced Western art of the mixed format art, the modern science of the West in creating human images that focus on realistic and appended to the history of the Thai traditional painting ideals. These tastes are visible in the fresco. The painting tells story. Example: 10 Great Periods Birth in the Rattanakosin Temple, sketched by Princesses เจ้าฟ้ากรมพระยานริศรานุวัติวงศ์ and Sitigoli. The architecture in Range 5 has been influenced by the West, such as the Sid Maha Prasad Throne Hall, Ananda Samakom Throne Hall, พระรามพระราชนิเวศน์ for Thai architecture such as the Marble Temple, the Tipaya Asana Pavilion. Rama 5-6. The sculpture was created to be influenced of Western art. Even the Buddha, like a man, more and more like rope, straightened muscle naturally, while Buddhism remains of some important ones. Altar sculpture are marble or bronze from Europe to begin to model the protest statue and monument from the West as well. Rama 7. The most famous painting was the story of Ramakian that located at Temple of Emerald Buddha. The famous artist was Rattanakosin, who painted the long history of King Naresuan since he was young until his death. Rattanakosin used a lot of techniques from Western, such as oil painting was visual, beautiful and erotic for that time. The architecture in Range 7. The mostly building it is Western style, but the roof is Thai style, such as Wat Phasi Mahathat in Bangkok, Ministry or Provincial Hall and Auditorium of Kurusapha, or the Teachers' Council of Thailand, and the Western style buildings such as the National Stadium of Thailand and Ministry of Justice. Rama 7. The novel story is the famous to this period, so the sculpture of his period has more about the novel story and the portrait of the important person or the hero of country. The style of sculpture of his period is also affected by the Western. Rama 9 until now. In the end of World War II, Thai painting slowed down and tensions. In Rama 9 Thai painting competition, จิตรกรรมบัวหลวง begin in 1949 until now. Famous artists in painting such as Mr. เฉลิมนรีรักษ์ Mr. เฉลิมชัยโกสิทธิพิพัฒน์ and Mr. ฉลุดนิ่มเสมอ Example: Thai traditional painting, มหาจารณกา or Preparing the Journey by Mr. เฉลิมชัยโกสิทธิพิพัฒน์ Next is บ้านนาเพียง by Mr. อิทธิพลภัทรชน He won จิตรกรรมบัวหลวง in 2014. Thai Contemporary Painting Blue by Mr. ฉลุดนิ่มเสมอ and บรรพบุรุษล้ำลึก by Miss ธิติภูมิอ่อนเยี่ยม The architecture in Range 9 until now. The architecture in nowadays have different style. Some copy old-fashioned and create a new one. for the house still have a wooden houses. In this Rama often copy Western style, and in Rama the Third until now often build house by cement in Chinese and Thai style. Rama IX. In the Rama IX period, the sculpture will be modern style but still focus on religious traditional, the portrait of important person, and it also include the doctrine of religious such as hell and heaven. The most sculpture which we see in nowadays is the coin. An example of sculpture of Rama the Ninth is sculpture of Queen Sirikit, which Rama built it by clay 12 inches to be the plaster model.